All right, round 22 team list. Let's kick this one off with just a little bit of chat around some of the matchups you want to target this week for attacking players, to be honest. And the first one stands out is the Panthers, and it's been the way for the last couple of weeks there. And the Titans were improved, but their opponents unfortunately weren't great, and the Panthers are in red hot form. So right now they are the team to beat, and they are playing the best alongside the Raiders, who also have a pretty solid matchup this week as well against the Dragons, I believe there. So those couple of matchups will be fun. There you go, on Saturday afternoon at 5:30, and we saw Tom Dearden absolutely tear them up there on that left-hand side, and you got Fogarty, you've got Hosking on that side, and then Timoko, who had a cracking game there last week as well. Seb Chris does return on the other side there, but those are the two sort of standout matchups, and I don't mind the Sharks one for a few guys like Hines, like Nikora, although last week it didn't work out perfectly well there. So that Eels Storm one I think is going to be pretty close. Warriors and Dolphins, same deal. Broncos, Rabbitohs. If the Rabbitohs can put up a fight like last week, it could be okay, but let's see how long they can hold on with that type of those types of performances there. Eagles, Roosters should be high enough scoring and a decent, even style game, which would be good. So for round 22, and to kick it off with those Eels and the Storm there, Joash Papali there is definitely going to be the best cash down of the week. It's pretty clear at the moment that he's a really, really solid fullback. That's his best position. Just let him run the footy. He's got the speed, he's got the footwork to get the tackle busts and everything else. So he is that guy, but do you need a guy as a cash down that's playing, especially in a week where you may not have any nights? It could be difficult for looping and stuff like that, but if you need or have extra trades, going down to him will be fun. We'll talk through his stats in the Best Buys video, and a big thanks to everyone for tuning in so this far into the season, all the way into round 22. It's been a fun ride, and we'll keep getting bigger and better on this channel and podcast, and hopefully get some winners from the private crew. And for anyone who does watch my videos, that would be awesome. And a great way to do it, guys, is chuck the JBFA tag at the front or the back of your team name, and that's a great way to support as well, and just get the name out there and get the podcast and the YouTube channel out there. Now, Jermaine Hopgood's a pretty fun one at a reasonable price. If you need someone in that range, we will throw him into the Best Buys as well. Mitch Moses is a pretty low one, so it's a tough one to look at. Penasini, fairly cheap as well, so keep an eye on him. And then Charlie Geimer, mentioned him as a good buy last week in that mid-range, and you can definitely go there again if you need to. We do see Kelma Tuolangi back, but he's just in the 19 jersey, so I actually think that the two that they're running out there in Geimer and Williams are in a great spot to continue doing well. For the Storm, Papen Schnackenhausen is finally back, it looks like. Hopefully he does actually play. Meany goes back to the centres there, and then Cam Munster returns, and Tyron Wishart does partner him in the 7 jersey. Now, a few people have asked, do we think that Munster's going to be a bit more relevant? And the answer is yes, but Wishart will take a decent amount of kick meters. It's more likely that they share it in this partnership there, 250 apiece or something like that is expected, and that'll be good for Munster, given Husey kind of took over the last month or so, and he's gonna have to do plenty along with Harry Grant to really get this team over the line after a good win last week, but a tough loss the week before, and they're gonna want to cement themselves in that top 4. So imagine guys like Pap scoring pretty well. Howarth was good last week as a cash down type, low mid-range type player. And then Munster, I wouldn't personally pick him. Wishart is a good little pick this week. We'll speak about more as well. As I said, any of these guys that I mentioned, we will talk about them in Best Buys or in the holds and sells. So Eli Katoa, still an okay buy, definitely, but we like him a little bit more with Hughes. And then Harry Grant's a really fun pick in the mid 600s as well. If you do have Riley Smith, he's in the sell category at the moment with the minutes that he's been getting. And then Trent Liero is actually getting a rest in this one, surprisingly enough. So what was his story here? Yeah, been rested. So yeah, didn't play very well last week, did he? And had some big minutes coming back from Origin games. Now the Wars and the Finns. So from the Wars side of things, they're back 7. It's really only Tanner Boyd that you still want to look at, but with Tamati Martin back in the 6 jersey, We know he's going to potentially do a little bit of the kicking, similar to what Chanel can do. So I don't think it changes too much for Tanner. It should be a pretty fun game for these guys here, definitely. Now, he is going to be up against Herbie, old Tanner boy. And Darren Watendi's Lesniak's very, very cheap. Now, the worry with them is just the quality that they've been putting out at the moment. So, really outside of Aaron Clark, and hopefully we can get some more minutes out of him. You got Healy starting there with Egan out, but it will just be the week. And then Valmarga, unfortunately, with Fisher Harris out, carrying a bit of a calf niggle, he gets an opportunity to score pretty well. And I think he's going to have a good crack, but not one we want to be looking at buying. I doubt that many people short this week or anything close to having someone like Valmarga be a 17th player. Most likely he's like a 20th or a 19th guy in your side. Now for the Finns, Herbie pretty well must have to round out the year. Best centre by far and has that upside. Isaiah Katoa, very, very important, I'd say, in the halfback jersey there. Fogarty, similar boat to him, along with, you've got Cleary as the clear top dog. And that's where the difference is with someone like Isaiah. Herbie's averaging 6 more, and he's the best in his position. Isaiah, 58, really, really good mark, but not like a must-have by any stretch. Connolly Lemuelu, I think, is pretty interesting at his price point as well. I really like him. Mitch has mentioned him as well. And just a great price. And with Fine Fuyaki, unfortunately, with his broken thumb, he should be out for sort of the next 3 to 5 weeks, something like that. Two at the earliest, it looks like, and probably 4 or so at the latest. And for Con there, he's been able to score well in sort of 50 minutes. He's also really, really dominant in 80 and picked up an 82 last game without a try. So that was pretty crazy at a very good price. You saw what Halasima in a good position there, and Lem can do the same thing. Now, Kurt Donahue, I still think is a pretty good pick. You've got him with the dual position, and just is a little bit expensive, I suppose. If you're a bit strapped for cash, you're not going to be able to get him because he's over 600k. Now, for the Broncos up against the Bunnies there, you do see Cobbo return and Dean Mariner. So Arthur's is gone, along with Karapani, for anyone still holding on to Kara. And I suppose you could use him as a looper this week fairly comfortably with the first few games. You got Reece Walsh, who's scoring pretty well and is a good little pod play in the 500s there. Reynolds still okay. Payne Haas looks like he's all good. Been training since back at training on Monday, which was nice. And then Carrigan still a buy. Like for those that were interested last week, like myself, I still think he's a guy that you can grab in your side there. On the other team, Pete Mamzels in the 18 jersey, something you'll have to just keep a note of. You got Ryan Gray, who could look like a cash down, but won't be great there. You got Ty Munro dropped with Bentley Harpe back in his side, and then Talis Duncan, unfortunately, being named in the centre jersey. Now, Jack Whiten is being trying to push for non-suspension. He's going to fight for that. So if he misses, it's 4 weeks. But anyway, the reason is he's more important. Some people own him, but more around Duncan. And with Whiten named at 6 anyway, Duncan looks like he's stuck in the centres for the rest of the year. And in that note, is a sell. Dry Gray, still a really fun cash down option, but just the quality of their team, unfortunately, is going to let him down at times from getting to the 50s and the like that we saw at the beginning of the season. And I actually really don't mind now that we've seen, we've got Aiken in there back-to-back weeks now in that edge position. I think he's a really solid pickup at a pretty reasonable price as well. I think near the 600 mark or something like that there for him. What is he again? 614 actually. He's been able to score pretty well. Actually, I remember it with that 4 offloads last 2 weeks ago at centre. So an okay price there. And if you've got Hubner, a pretty good score from him. And if you bought Liam LeBlanc, still keeps that spot longer term, which is good. I think he'll keep it there for the rest of the season. There's no one really coming back to fight for him. And then you saw Totola get injured. So there should be some decent minutes available for guys like him. And it was a shoulder injury for Totola. Titans Panthers, still just very, very clear in that back 7. It's Campbell at a very, very awesome price, and he has the big upside. So it's pretty simple there. You got Alec Winky there in the starting jersey now, partnering Beau Fermor. And the reason he gets that spot now is with Chris Randall having the concussion. So it'll just be a 1 week thing for him. So not super important, I don't think. at this stage. Bevan Moore, still a really solid pickup, has dropped some cash into 650 now after being over 700. So you do get that little bit of a discount, but you can see the last few weeks, similar to Preston, is that there is a little bit of downside on him at times. Isaiah Yeo, clear perfect pickup in the mid position at a really nice price. And when you're looking across the board, as a whole, there's not too many guys that are of that level where they can hit the 60 plus on a regular basis and try to, for the most part, avoid the 30. Mr. Yo, I don't want to see that ever again, young man. Edwards, I still think, is a really good pickup. They're playing great. He's in great form. So, yeah, he has more upside than pretty much all of the wing fullbacks right now. Teddy's struggling, and he's an important guy. We do have Karaz and JC, but they, like all wing fullbacks, are prone to have their 40s and 30s like we've seen, and are just, Titans, definitely a lesser team, but, Doggy's a really solid team as well. Speaking of Karaz, he's a fullback this week. How good is that? But make sure you do get Cleary, a very, very important pickup. He, I think, is 95% owned in the top 1,000, and Isaiah's like 75. So, a little bit to clean up there for anyone that does still have trades. For the Dragons and the Raiders, not too much on the Dragon side. Like, King Tongia did keep his spot. I wonder if that will stick all season. Hopefully his defense improves. Michael Molo has been named to start at the edge position, which, looking, if it sticks as is, he probably will. And I think he's going to score well. He seems to do really well in games where he gets good minutes, and his price unfortunately hurts him on that one just because he's had those really decent games there. Michael Molo at 457, so a little bit annoying on that one. Cook, you can definitely hold. You can use him as a sell guy as well. From the Raiders, we do see the upside man Timoko, and then Sebastian Chris was as well. Jamal Fogarty should still continue to do really, really well. My main worry with this Raiders side is that they've got the bye in a few weeks, and then I think they're going to rest their stars in one of those last two games, and probably round 27 for this team, just to get them ready for finals. And if they can lock in the minor premiership over the next probably by that bye in round 24, following that, they get the extra 2 points, obviously, as well. If that's the case, I think a resting's definitely coming. So loading up on Raiders just fills me with a little bit of pain. And we did hear today that it sounds like Matty Nicholson will return in round 25. Now, the thing with Hosking that I'm a slight bit worried about is his position in this side moving a little bit to the middle, which I do in general like it. If he can get 65 to 70 minutes, you're just relying on him being able to have that really good PPM. See someone on my potential chopping block over the next few weeks, and it's probably him over Tarpanay because his role in the team is very safe, where Hoskins is less so. Starling, I think, is an easy guy to sell. Horsburgh had a really tough game on the weekend, but he's obviously a little bit under the top tier guys, but is that a guy you want to look to move on from? I'm not sure. And Hudson Young still at the top tier edge to go for, but for the reasons I said above, or just before, that's the worry with someone like him in this team. And then Jaden Stewart, unfortunately, is the injury for that Dragon side. Now, Eagles and Roosters, 7:35 on Saturday evening. No change at the back for them, with Hopewadi keeping his spot for another week. Turbo and Garrick. So now it's Garrick versus Nwangni Tuaze on that left-hand side. Going to be a pretty interesting one. Surely one of them scores well. Now, at the moment, Nawa's leaving my side and Garrick is staying, more for price is the only way I could do it. So, hopefully the Eagles can do pretty well. But, we'll see how this one plays out. For them, no one really of note in their side will go through any further. Apart from Turbo, I don't know if you'd have him as a clear buy anymore, just with seeing their team go pretty poor. Savala comes in for Sandon Smith. Teddy hopefully has a good game there, along with, I'm hoping, for Nafahu White, Watson and Crichton. But generally, they all should be pretty sweet. Siwa Wong gets the starting spot over Celeste Feketi. And for Feketi now, can easily be looped or just sit in your 18, 19, 20, but can also easily be sold at a decent price over 500k there. Benaya gets his spot on the 14 with Zach Docker-Clay out of this team. And they seem to be just changing around a bit. Victor Radley sitting in the 22, so just do be aware of that one. And that could hurt. Would it hurt Feketi or would it hurt Steep? Egan Butcher potentially. One of those guys is going to miss, which is pretty crazy. to see. But that that happened earlier on in the year, definitely. So keep an eye on that with Radley. They won't be playing him for massive minutes, though, it seems, is the chatter. Tigers doggies. On the Tigers side of things, we do see really back seven. We have one change there. Dream Buller comes into fullback. Taruva moves to the wing there. Skelton does keep his spot, which is good enough, good for him. Adam Dewey in 13 still. Happy days with that. Terrell May, still a great captaincy option. Plenty of work goes through the middle in doggies games. So, yeah, happy days there. Jack Bird is out of this one. Connor Tracy also out, which pushes Carraz back to fullback. And it's more for the fact that I don't think they have a clear replacement there. And they're going to want Crichton to defend with one of the rookies or one of the lesser known commodities in Tuala, who has been around for a while but isn't a regular first grader, and then Rinakama as well. So they'll be able to all do a good job there. And last time we've seen Carraz at fullback, it wasn't that great. So he definitely doesn't have a great pass on him unless he's offloading. So hopefully just plenty of run meters and plenty of offloads, and he can go nuts from there. Galvin, a great pick. Burton, a really solid one as well, but it feels like to me he has to run the footy plenty for it to work well. And in the forwards, Preston still a really solid pickup at a good price as well. It's a similar situation to both of them more at the moment with where they're at price, about the 650, and have that up and down nature. So yeah, a solid one still to have a look at. And then to finish off this week and this weekend, it's my Cowboys up against the Sharkies. So for the Sharkies side of things, I didn't mention in my results video because I was looking at valuable players. Britton Nickera still has the hospital symbol next to him, so he's actually at 580, and I can get Garrick straight to him with 0k in the bank. So that's a potential option. We'll keep that in mind. But yeah, if you're looking at this team, Adam Fanua-Blake could definitely do well here. You've got Hines, who's in a spot, hopefully, to do well. And then you've got the cheaper guys in like Ronnie and Ramian that you can have a look at as well. But yeah, you hope AFB and McInnes can have good games. And then for the Cowboys, it's still got Scott Drinkwater. He's like 580 or something like that. 580 something. And yeah, still has the upside. We saw 45 in the first half, finished with a 48, which is pretty crazy. So that's kind of the ups and downs and swings and roundabouts that you can get from Scotty D. And then Tom Dearden, if you want to throw a shot at the stumps. Yeah, that'll work. Have a shot at the stumps. I'm meant to be the cricket guy, but can't talk. Then he's fun, but he will be sharing the kicking duties with Jake Clifford, who's back in the 6 jersey. Robson, Cotter, all solid guys, but mid 500s guys. Nothing super exciting there. You see Vela and Rudolph out for the Sharkies. So we'll leave it there, guys. We've got best buys, we've got the holds, the sells, we've got Scoops video, all out tomorrow before my final trade thoughts and little bits and pieces on some teams on the Thursday. So normal programming for the last 5 rounds. Hope you've enjoyed how things have gone, and can't wait to see you in those videos tomorrow. Let me know what trades you're doing below.